Welcome back to the Unusual Podcast, everyone, where we film students deep dive into contemporary Indian cinema along with the masters. And today we are joined by a filmmaker who has become the definitive voice of the Indian suburban nightmare, a director who peels back the skin of the middle class family to reveal the raw, often uncomfortable bone beneath. His journey is one of the incredible cinematic records, beginning right here in Kolkata from the classrooms of SRFTI, where he honed his craft to the prestigious red carpets of the Cannes Film Festival twice now. We first felt his visceral impact with his debut feature Titli, which premiered at Cannes in the Uncertain Regard section, garnering international acclaim for his brutal honesty. And since then, he has continued to challenge our sensibilities, even through the claustrophobic, pulsating tension of his recent film Agra, which returned him to the Cannes for the director's fortnight and is now streaming on Prime Video India. He is a storyteller who refuses to look away from the dark corners of human psyche, and we are absolutely honored to have with us today the one and only Kanu Khel.
Hi.
So yeah, I really wanted to ask you that it's like almost a decade between the Titli screening at Uncertain Regard and now the incredible 5 minute ovation you received for Agra Director's Fortnight at Cannes. So if you could please tell us about this incredible journey and your experience at the Cannes Film Festival, especially with the reception of the film.
It wasn't a very incredible journey while it was happening, to be honest. It was a hard slog. Uh, but in many ways, I think the day I finally decided that I need to make this film, I was prepared for a slog. Mentally, I knew that I was entering difficult territory, but it just honestly it proved to be even more difficult than I had imagined. But yeah, it's been a journey, right down from writing a film like Agra, uh, trying to write it in the most honest way possible. That in itself proved to be a really difficult task. It took me 2 years. It took me shedding my own inhibitions, my own fears, saying ki nahi, if we have to speak about this, then we have to speak about this, without any filters. Uh, from there to actually then going and trying to find finance for a film like this.
Yeah.
That in itself took a long time. Then eventually to, in the middle of COVID, edit the film, try to get it out there. Because obviously for a film like this, without a festival badge, which personally I'm not looking for, but which becomes a sort of necessity for the survival of a film like this, especially in today's scenario. Uh, uh, Trying to do that journey. Then once that journey is done, and there's something for the middlemen to hold on to. कि हाँ अच्छा तुम्हारी film festival गई है तो at least that you can enter the room now. Then eventually trying to find a release for the film, fight for the proper screens for the film, which that was a different separate battle. Then eventually to try to get a OTT release for the film. So yeah, I mean the every step for this film was quite a challenge.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we all know that you are a pass out of Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute here in Kolkata. So I just wanted to know for the current film students or aspiring people who are going to go to SRFTI or FTII, what would be your guidance on how SRFTI or a film school in general helps you or a filmmaker like you to go to these lengths and find your own style and make films like Agra and Titli.
Right. Yeah. So I think it helps and it doesn't help. But that doesn't help also can turn into a help if you are on the right path. And yeah, so not to put away the cryptic ness of this whole thing, I would say that in my own personal experience, and at least talking to many other people who I've known who've been juniors, seniors, so I have a fairly large sample size. I would say that देखो एक तो हर एक की जर्नी सेम नहीं होती है. And I'm building a preamble for what I'm about to say, but why I'm saying this is, for example, I had already, when I went to film school at the age of 23, I had already in a way been working for 12 years. I started assisting my father at 12. So I had almost like वो 12 को कम भी कर दूं तो 6-7 साल का experience तो मैं लेके जा रहा था. I knew in a way what it is like to be on a TV set where film kind of aspirational work was happening. Essentially, they were doing TV. But I knew that it was hard work. The myth of the filmmaker was already busted for me. So for me, it was a very different journey. And why I'm saying this is because you asked me specifically this question for a lot of kids who go to film school who are not from
Yeah.
film backgrounds. और फिल्म बैकग्राउंड मेरी कोई फिल्म बैकग्राउंड नहीं है, मैं नेपो नहीं हूँ, बट एटलीस्ट मेरे माँ बाप दोनों एक्टर्स थे. वो बिल्कुल शुरू से शुरुआत कर रहे थे, दिल्ली में बेस्ड थे. माय फादर वेंट टू द नेशनल स्कूल ऑफ ड्रामा, सो दे वर अपस्टार्ट्स. एटलीस्ट आई हैड दैट एटलीस्ट myth busting ability in my family. Ki don't romanticize this, you are no Tarkovsky or whatever. It's hard work. It's appearing on set, grueling like a laborer or carpenter for 14 hours, except it's creative grueling also and physically grueling also. So all that I already knew. But most kids that come from small towns, they don't have that exposure, unfortunately. So a lot of that time they waste because आते ही वो इतना सिनेमा देख लेते हैं. Then mostly young kids feel like, oh, I'm here, they selected me, so I'm already it. Whereas that's just the beginning.
They get
And
overwhelmed.
other than that, I would say the other thing is mainly that film school doesn't. I don't think film school's primary purpose is to teach you. It's not a polytechnic. It's not there to teach you editing or teach you cinematography. It's not like ab jao or elements seekh lo aur kuch aa jayega. I would look at it more as 3.5 years of your life that you are being given to spend with yourself, spend getting
Right.
to know yourself. For me, that's the real purpose of a film school, right? It allows you, it puts you in the middle of a fire with 40 other young people like you who are all, going through their own share of insecurities, vulnerabilities. A lot of shit is happening, and in the middle of that, they're trying to find themselves. And that's what really the journey is about. Those 3.5 years are to find your voice. And ऐसा नहीं है कि खत्म होते होते आपको मिल जाती है. Finding your voice and discovering yourself as a filmmaker is a lifelong process. वो आज भी मेरे साथ रोज सुबह उठ के होता है, right? You're every day you're trying to figure who am I and what do I really want to do or what do I want to talk about. So, but film school, I think, has the potential to lay those foundations right. If you're working on yourself, if you're talking to the right people, if you get a couple of mentors, you can start on that journey really well. So that's how I would look at film school.
Right. So I'm actually noticing a trend here. Like, हमने like last podcast we did with Triveni Rai ma'am, who is also an SRFTI pass out. So there are directors in the industry who like pride themselves कि हम film school नहीं किए थे and everything. But you and Triveni Rai both are very good advocates for film school. So that is a very good thing to see actually.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think without context, bubble में रह के अपने आप को कुछ भी बोलना बहुत आसान है. It's very easy to say, film school की जरूरत नहीं है, क्यों जाना है, da. But most of those people who I see saying this, I look at from a distance and I very strongly feel that they do not have context to what cinema is or what the history of cinema is, or blindly chalte, like at least having gone through that rigor of 3.5 years, I at least have some view into where are we coming from and the tools to contextualize myself with what I'm making next, saying, oh, okay, ऐसा कुछ पहले हो चुका है, नहीं हो चुका है, whatever. It gives you that rigor and discipline. So, that staying in the bubble and being a little blasé about it doesn't work for me.
Okay, so I would like to ask something which like a lot of people knows by now about the CBFC issue and the theatrical issue that happened to Agra. last year when it was theatrically released and pulled down after a few days. So, and we had 46 filmmakers make the joint statement and sign the petition to release it, and that also led to things like Mami Independent nowadays, where we are seeing independent films playing in theaters. So, how did that time like transform you, and did you expect that to happen, or did it happen out of nowhere? Or we would like to know, how did it happen? Why did it happen also?
Yeah, with the kind of cinema that I do, you always expect stuff like this to happen. With a film like Agra, first to clarify, there was no censorship issue at all. That was the amazing thing. Actually, I was taken aback, very, very pleasantly surprised by my experience with the CBFC, because हम लोग film लेके गए and I was expecting like a barrage of cuts. But eventually, I had to delete just one shot from the film, which I was okay with, and just dub some abuses in the film. तो जो भी मुझे सेंसर कमेटी ने बोला कि हम ये करना नहीं चाहते, but today with an adult certificate we have this mandate. So really it was out of the hands of those 5 people. We can question it at a larger level कि ये क्यों हुआ? Why with an adult certificate, why do you need to delete that one shot? And the abuses, that's a valid question. I stand for it. And I think I was a bit tired with the battle by that stage, very honestly. And I said, okay, fine. I mean, this is more than ever I could ask for. If you're just deleting one shot and I have to dub this, I'll take it at this point and move on. But मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि it was not a battle at all. It was, in fact, I was really surprised how much they liked the film and how much they supported the film. So censorship was not an issue. Yes, I mean, but what do you expect in India? With a film about sexuality. ये तो पहले से पता था मुझे. जिस दिन मैंने लिखना शुरू किया, I knew in the back of my head कि ये सब होगा. Right down from how critics respond to a film like this. There was like, I'll tell you again, I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I was a little I was a little disappointed by some of what happened on the festival circuit, or with the way people were talking about the film in the criticals. Not everybody, but a large section of journalists and critics who really, I would say they have an issue with difficult characters, because they feel like the character in your film needs to be the moral center of the film also, which is what disappointed me and disturbed me. तो वो बहुत जगह वो भी हुआ, I have heard many stories of festivals who refuse to take on the film. Within India. काफी सरप्राइजिंग स्टोरी जो मैं पब्लिकली बोलता नहीं हूँ, बट मुझे पता चलती हैं चीजें. there's without naming the newspaper, there was a critic who refused to write about the film, saying anyway. So so वैसी चीजें वो सब but that's a part and parcel of the process. You're doing a film that's a difficult film that people anyway don't want to talk about this subject. And especially if you really want to not pretty it up, or not, put a little bit of butter on it. If you really want to say it like the protagonist feels it, the film is not my film in the sense that I have to tell you, all of this is happening, but, sab theek ho jayega. But dil ke to sab achhe hain, why should I need to do that? If it's an ugly feeling to be in for the protagonist, then the film should feel as ugly as he's feeling. That's when you're truly engaging with that human being, right? If you're unable to see the film for what it is, and you really want some digestible version of it for yourself, because that's how you think cinema should be, or what a film like this should feel, then I mean,
yeah, that's their problem.
I would say it's all our problem. It's not their problem. Having gone through this experience, मैं अब ये बोलूंगा कि बहुत जगहों पे चेंज की जरूरत है. Because I think
Right.
एक बहुत ही आउटडेटेड पुराना तरीका बन चुका है सिनेमा को देखने का, where people have also because of the economic, political, cultural situation, moment,
Mm.
there is now a need everywhere to have a certain kind of film. Because there is this popular perception कि अरे लोग इतने परेशान हो चुके हैं, इतने थके हुए हैं, that even in the art house space they need to see positivity. You know what I mean?
Right.
There
Escapism, so.
there is this little dragon that flies around in the cinema space now, which spews its fire everywhere, saying, "Oh, but positive. Oh, but happiness. Oh, but you need to leave. The people are just too fried. The world is different post COVID, and no one really talks about." And I see people banding about catharsis so loosely, but if we don't really put an audience through that gut churn, are we really changing anything inside them through that experience? If we really can't, if we can't even watch the difficult, forget going through,
Right.
but we are refusing now even to watch the difficult.
Right.
Then what sort of a churn are we talking about? What is the true change that can happen if you really don't engage with the gut of an audience, right? So
Mm.
so I think it's all our problem, and we should be talking about this problem more. And the next generation of film festival programmers or critics or distributors or whoever, actors, everybody needs to engage with this a bit more and not just go on this, balm spreading muhim of oh, we are all hurt now, let us heal first. But पहले समझो तो ट्रू हीलिंग होती कैसे है, फिर हील करना. हीलिंग इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट ऊपर से आके कुछ कुछ बोल देना और प्रिटी अप कर देना. एनीवे, आई नीड टू रैंट. सो
This is of course such a different film. So it's also interesting, and I want to know about like what was the pitching process for a film like this, because we all know that producers nowadays look for the like safest script possible that are formulaic and like tried and tested out, right? So how do you pitch a project like Agra to the producers?
it was a different time. Fortunately, this was pre-COVID that the film was getting made. I shot in 2019, so वो अलग समय था जब फिर भी अलग चीजें अलग थी. अभी बहुत अलग है.
Yeah, nowadays, like even in independent films, they are wanting a formula. So independent films also need to have a formula. And I want to ask you, like we in our festival at Chayanot at Jadavpur University, we had the screening of Tees also by Dibakar Banerjee. You may have seen Tees. So you also collaborated with Dibakar Banerjee in your film Titli. So during that collaboration, like what was it like? How did you like approach Dibakar sir, or how did he help you, and how did Titli get made? Also, I would want to know apart from Agra.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have to approach Dibakar in that sense, because by the time Titlika script was ready, we already had a very thick working relationship. मैं एक फिल्म पे डीए कर चुका था उनके साथ. थोड़ा बहुत पीछे पीछे से हल्का फुल्का राइटिंग में कंट्रीब्यूट कर चुका था. फिर एलएसडी में मैं एक फिल्म लिख चुका था, को राइट कर चुका था, गाने लिख चुका था. मतलब आई वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट. आई वाज लाइक अ कोर पार्ट ऑफ दैट टीम, आप बोल लो. सो आई हैड अ वर्किंग रिलेशनशिप. ही न्यू me really well and my instincts really well as a filmmaker, and the way he looks at cinema and I look at cinema was very similar. So I didn't really have to go and pitch for the film. Once the script was ready, and he was privy to my journey in a way also, because before Titli I had written another script and taken it to him, and he very graciously was truthful enough to say कि यार ये तुमने क्या लिखा है? Why are you desperate to make a film? This should not be your first film. So we had that kind of relationship where he could tell me, he could diss me and say, fuck you, this is not good. So then I went back, I wrote Titli, I went back to him again, and I said, okay, now I've tried to do something more organic. What do you think of this? And he immediately read it and he said, yeah, more like it. This seems like your first film. And then from that point on, once he read it and he said, okay, let's do it, he was there. He was around. He was shepherding the project in whichever way it was needed, whether it was our weekly sort of, Sharad and me were writing it, and I remember हमारा जब भी draft होता था या हम कुछ feedback चाहिए, we used to meet him, whether it was our weekly meetings on the script where we were, our round of feedback on what he felt. वो चाहे script हो, obviously finding finance for the film, backing it in a producerial sense. He was always there. He was like that, critical, protective hand which every first-time filmmaker needs. The great thing was that since he was a filmmaker himself, he also knew कि ज़्यादा नहीं मुझे इसको pilot करना है. So it was an ideal combination of having the safety net and yet having the freedom to be able to do whatever you want to do. I mean, I'll give you a small example. Titli was shot on Super 60. I think it was the second last film. मेरे बाद एक और मैं नाम भूल रहा हूँ, बट एक ही फिल्म और सुपर 16 पे उस एरा में. आई थिंक मे बी अभी रिसेंटली कुछ और हुआ हो तो मुझे मालूम नहीं, बट मेजर, लेट्स से अ मेजर फीचर, आई थिंक इट वाज द सेकंड लास्ट वन टू बी शॉट ऑन सुपर 16. कौन कर रहा था उस समय? We took the decision to do it on Super 16. Not once did Dibakar say, "Arey, ye kya kar rahe ho?" So he went with my gut, with our gut, the team's gut on the whole thing. So it was amazing. He's one of the best. I would say even today, if he decides to produce something else, he's one of the best producers in town.
Right. So I wanted to ask you some like rapid fire questions because of course you're a filmmaker, but firstly you're a film lover. So what are some of the films you love, or even filmmakers you look up to that really like influence your films, or even Agra for that?
I mean, again, I've spoken about this a lot. Kubrick, Kiarostami, Kieslowski, Costa Rica, Jacques Audiard, PTA. Right now, I want to say early PTA because I'm not a fan of some of his recent work. Early PTA, The Master, There Will Be Blood. Steve McQueen.
Right. I want to ask one final question to end it all. As Cannes 2026 is coming, you were one of the few Indian filmmakers who have their work selected at Cannes twice. So now I want to know that what was the experience at Cannes, and what did you, what people did you meet there, and any fun things do you want to tell from your experience at Cannes?
Unfortunately, at least in my experience as a director, there's not much fun to be had at Cannes because you're constantly busy just talking about your film. You're just going from one thing to the other thing. तो मेरे तो दोनों experiences में ऐसा हुआ है कि I was able to just let loose on the final day of Cannes with Titli, and more or less the same happened with Agra. So yeah, the experience is great. Yeah, it's very humbling because ultimately what it does is it becomes the first time a large audience is watching your film because it's the premiere. Plus you are screening alongside so many other great filmmakers that in itself is humbling. So I think the key feeling for me both the times has been not an anxiety, but just a curiosity to see the reaction of people to the film, because as I said, both the films were not easy films. They were difficult films, and you really wanna fact check for yourself also, यार कि कहीं मैं ये ऐसा तो नहीं कर रहा कि जबरदस्ती बस लोगों को कुछ मुश्किल देने के लिए तो नहीं बना रहा हूँ. Am I able to emotionally connect beyond the difficulty of the film with the audience? So for me, that is a really a moment full of a lot of curiosity and a lot of anxiety in that sense, because I'm also trying to see how people are able to whether people are able to connect with the film emotionally. And thankfully, the response has been really great both of the times. And other than that, it's very humbling because you realize that there are so many other great filmmakers around you, and there is such a long journey to still travel that you come back after seeing some other great work and go like, oh man, I still need to go back to the drawing board, or what ab kya hoga, and that panic of, oh my god, this yeah.
Did the audience there like react to the local nuances or the local things that you added in your films, like the
Yeah.
production design of Agra, or maybe the things like that? I am saying.
Yeah, I totally. I think the more local a film is, the more universal it becomes. So, uh, they might not react consciously
Right.
to done, but I think the truth transmits.
Right.
If they're able to feel that what they're watching really belongs where it is, then that truth really is
The
able
themes
to
are
pass.
universal.
Yeah.
Right.
No, also elements like the production design, जैसे तुम बोल रहे हो, वो consciously चाहे उस तरह से ना react करें. For example, प्रीति के बैकरूम में कैफे के पीछे वो मोर की पेंटिंग लगी हुई है, वो वेस्टर्न ऑडियंस का रिएक्शन इंडियन ऑडियंस से बहुत अलग होगा उस
Of
इमेज
course.
को.
Right.
But as a composite, if they are feeling the truth, then that you have the with a different audience. Let's not say Western, Eastern भी, चाइना में भी कोई फिल्म देख रहा है, कहीं पर भी कोई देख रहा है जो तुम्हारे कल्चर से नहीं है, बट उसके लिए वो एक ट्रांसफरेंस बन जाता है और क्रिएशन ऑफ दैट इमेज बन जाता है. Now the next time they are coming to India, for example, let's say a Chinese person is coming to India and they are about to enter an internet cafe. If they've seen Agra, maybe they are in their head thinking, oh, there is a room पीछे जहाँ ये रहती हूँ, ये रहता होगा, और उसमें वैसा सा ही कुछ art होगा. So it does that also. So
Right.
if it's truthful, then it can function like that.
Right. So now Agra is out in Prime Video for everyone to watch. So it would be recommended everyone go and watch Agra.
Please
Tit-
go watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Titli is also available, so everyone please go watch. And thank you so much, sir, for being here. And any last advice you want to give us before we?
Just I would say for all filmmakers beginning, I always say, and I still maintain, courage. Keep your courage, and yeah, function out of there.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.